clinging heavily to the latent heat. With the deepening shadows the only sign of life, Corbin realized he didn't have to believe in ghosts for at least one portion of the asylum's reputation to ring true. Ruby Hill was vile. Joe steered the unmarked patrol car onto the drive and stopped at the gate. He flashed his badge for the benefit of the rented security guard, then followed the broken asphalt to Ruby Hill's main entrance. A steady tap, tap, tap rattled the floorboard. Joe cut the engine, then stared pointedly at the source of the noise, Corbin's right boot. Damn. Corbin threw open the car door and took a deep, trying breath of the stifling air. The effort didn't work. Feeling no less anxious, he twisted in the seat and grounded the offending foot. The twitch moved to his calf. He set his jaw. "Where are the real cops?" he asked. "The old man at the gate won't cut it." Joe opened his door. "He's not supposed to. Our guys are waiting to see who wants in." Heat blasted away the last traces of conditioned air. God, but it was hot. Too hot for October. 2 murders in as many weeks, and you think this guy is entering through the front gate? Nah, but I don't mind if he thinks we think that. Joe climbed out of the car. His stance left Corbin with an unwelcome view of his almighty ass. Corbin averted his eyes and ended up with a windshield full of Ruby Hill. "You did not kill your brother." Joe was talking, the words muffled by the car's roof and thick air. Corbin forced himself out of the vehicle. When the second foot hit the ground, the knot in his chest traveled to his stomach. "In one room. We've been over it for evidence, just in case, but we can't go over the whole asylum. Just keep them in and everyone else out, and everything should be fine." Joe deserved some credit. The room he'd rented the Ghostbusters for the night was on the wrong side of the enormous complex, not that they'd ever know the difference. The exact location of the crime scene hadn't been released to the media. Still. And if it isn't fine? Joe shrugged. "They signed waivers. Your job is to make sure they don't leave that room. It's nowhere near the crime scene area, but don't let that particular cat out of the bag. It's an interior room and the walls are concrete. It'll be secure. Any questions?" "Yeah. Why are you humoring these morons?" Joe sighed with a heaviness that suggested he'd heard the question one time too many. "They can collect evidence. We can't. Maybe our ghost is in the mood for a confession. That's the official answer, anyway." "What's the unofficial version?" "They want to prove it's not a ghost. I don't believe in what they're doing, but they're in a unique position to put a damper on the hysteria. It's much more effective to let them discredit the ghost theory however they think they can. People are more likely to listen to them say it isn't true." Joe turned his back. Case closed. Only it wasn't. "Why am I here?" Corbin asked. Without turning around, Joe replied, "You'll find out soon enough." From Ruby Hill's front entrance, Ashley Pearce watched Corbin Malone step out of an unmarked car. The distance didn't hide the familiar stance of his body, nor did it hurt the view of the T stretched decadently over his chest. Jet black hair illuminated pale blue eyes, crystalline against the pallor he'd worn since his brother's death. A chill broke through the oppressive heat, sweeping over Ashley's skin. She shivered. For as long as she could remember, she'd been drawn to Ruby Hill, to its dark past. In 100 years of operation, tens of thousands of residents called the asylum home. Most never left alive. Hundreds dumped anonymously in unmarked graves, never left at all. Despite the scars left on so many lives, and by extension the community as a whole, Ruby Hill was an astonishingly beautiful piece of history. The building boasted the trademark Kirkbride design so closely associated with institutionalized care, though long neglected.